Happy Halloween, everyone!
Happy Halloween! Woo!
We are so excited this weekend. It's finally Halloween.
It is time. It's here.
So, welcome to Ghouls Night In. We are your spooky chat show, and your ghoul friends are so excited for Halloween to be coming. I'm Penny Snark.
And I'm Midge Munster.
And today we have a little bit of a special episode
Yeah.
in honor of the big pumpkin day coming on Sunday. We thought we would do some Halloween superlatives. I have kind of been mentally referring to this as the Halloween superlative spooktacular.
I love that.
So we are just going to be talking about some of our favorite Halloween things, and we will hope to hear from you about what your opinions are on some of these. And I mean, shall we just jump in?
Yeah, let's get right to it and find out what the best of Halloween really is.
Yes. So first, I think we need to talk about what is the best Halloween candy.
Of course, this is subjective, but my personal favorite is just a good old classic Kit Kat.
A solid choice. I have always been a big Reese's fan. So I feel like even like when I was a trick-or-treater, that was always one that I was super pumped to get, and I still am a big fan. I like to get like the Reese's pumpkins or bats.
I was gonna ask, are you a traditional Reese's gal, or are you good with the you like the different shapes? I know there's a big debate about kind of the chocolate to peanut butter ratio on different shapes.
Yeah. I would say that like my top choice is always like an original Reese's cup, but I do enjoy a seasonal shape just to get in the spooky spirit. And what would you say is the worst Halloween candy? Is it the most popular worst Halloween candy, or do you have an unusual pick?
Ooh, no, it is not the most popular because I actually am one of the freaks who likes candy corn.
I like candy corn too.
Yay, freaks together.
Yes. Like I never make it through like a whole bag, I will admit, but like I like to have it. I especially like it like mixed in with something that's salty.
Yeah, I make that like the candy corn peanut like chocolate chip or M&M mix, and I have a big like Tupperware full of it that I just keep throughout the fall.
Yes,
no, I don't know. I think what is the word? I mean, I think I'm gonna say it. I'm not a huge fan of Snickers, honestly.
Oh.
Or like Smarties.
Oh yeah. I call those antacid candies.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. And which one of my best friend she's like, yes, that is exactly the type of candy that is my favorite candy. And she's like, yes, love the chalkiness, love all of it. And I'm like, no, what's wrong with you?
You are clearly not living with IBS, ma'am. That candy only makes me think of one thing, and it is not a pleasant experience.
Oh goodness. Yeah, I think I always really hated Good and Plenty.
Oh gosh, I haven't even thought about that for years.
I know. I think they are licorice flavored, and I am not a licorice person.
No, me either.
Yeah, I would say like my top tier was always anything chocolate, and then like going down to like
to chalk.
To chalk and or licorice.
I will say, you know what I thought was like the ultimate? I feel like this was really popular when we were kids. People would get those tubes of mini M&Ms and give them out. And that was like the jackpot to me. Like that was the holy grail if I got a tube of mini M&Ms.
Yeah, I remember those. That was very, very good. I do remember that we had one family in a neighborhood that we used to go trick-or-treating in who worked for a Frito-Lay plant, and so they would have fun-sized chip bags.
The chip house.
The chip house. So that was always an exciting time. But yeah, I was really just hyped for chocolate. Also, not to belabor the subject, but fruit-flavored Tootsie Rolls are the worst.
Oh, God. Yep. I did kind of like the like vanilla ones, but yeah, no, like any of the fruity ones and that texture together are just not right.
No, it's a no-go.
Okay, so here's what I've got for you. Best Halloween movie from when we were kids.
Ooh, so I was actually I had like a total flashback because this movie is on Hulu now, and I
Okay.
completely forgot that it existed until I was scrolling through the Huluween. And it is Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen's Double Double Toil and Trouble.
Hell yeah.
We used to watch that all the time, every year, and like I completely forgot about it until I saw it again, and I was like, "What? I love
Oh my
that
gosh.
movie."
Yes, I was a big Mary Kate and Ashley girl
Me
growing up
too.
for
Me
sure. I
too.
had like all their clothes from Walmart and everything. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because I'm glad to know it's on Hulu and I'll have to go check that out.
Yes.
I think mine, ooh, I feel obligated to say Hocus Pocus
Yeah.
because it came out the year that I was born, so I feel like it just encompassed every Halloween of my entire life. It introduced an entire generation to Bette Midler, which I feel like is vital.
Yes.
Kind of in the way
Important.
that like also Halloween Town introduced everyone to Debbie Reynolds. Like
Oh
it's
yeah.
that level of importance to me. But definitely Hocus Pocus was the movie my family watched on Halloween night every year.
Okay.
So I feel like obligated to say that. Y'all know though, if you know, you know that I am a real weird person about this animated version of the Halloween tree that exists. I recommend it to every human person. It's so,
I do remember that one.
yeah, it's delightful. But Hocus Pocus is going to take the gold this time.
That's a good one. I will say the other one that I was always a big fan of is I liked Scooby Doo movies, and so
Ooh,
my two top faves were Scooby Doo and the Ghoul School, which
yeah.
is like all the daughters of like the classic movie monsters, delightful,
Mm-hmm.
and then also Scooby Doo and the Witch's Ghost.
Oh, I don't think I saw that one.
Oh, that one has Tim Curry doing a
Oh my
voice,
god.
and it also has an amazing rock band of like badass like goth girls.
Wait, is that what the Hex Crawls are from?
Yes, yeah, that's what the Hex Girls
Oh,
are
oh,
from.
then I've definitely seen that. Okay, yes.
Yes,
I didn't know that was what it was called, but yes.
yes,
The Hex Girls were a real moment of pure bi panic for me as a child.
right. Very formative
Oh,
experience.
absolutely, yeah.
Well, so those are our childhood faves. What would you say is the best movie to watch on Halloween as an adult?
I I've got kind of two. One's more spooky and one's an actual like quote horror movie.
Mm-hmm.
I watch Beetlejuice on Halloween every year.
Nice.
I gotta do it. But for like truest Halloween vibes, I love to watch Trick or Treat on Halloween.
Oh yeah.
I know it's not like really I guess it's not really a horror movie. It's pretty campy. But I mean, it's literally like a story about trick or treaters at the root of it. Is what it's about, and so I think that's just a very classic Halloween feel. Like the rules of Halloween are the kind of overlying theme of the whole film, like what you have to do to respect Halloween. That's probably a favorite for me.
Yeah, that's a very on brand for Halloween night.
Yeah.
I would say Hocus Pocus is my favorite, like watching on Halloween kind of
Okay.
movie these days. I did not ever watch Hocus Pocus as a kid. I didn't
Really?
see it until I was in college. Um, because one time I saw a commercial for Hocus Pocus on the Disney Channel, and then I think I had a nightmare that Bette Midler as Winifred was in, and then I was too scared of Hocus Pocus, so I
I know
couldn't watch it.
exactly which commercial you're talking about too, where she would like get her face like up in the camera with her hands out.
Yes. Oh
Yes.
my god. Yes, I was very disturbed by that, so I didn't end up ever watching it as a kid.
Oh my
So I really
gosh.
like that. I like to do something kind of like light and seasonal
Hmm.
for Halloween time. I mean, there are obviously other movies that I like to watch during spooky season, but that one's definitely like a peak like fall Halloween vibes for me.
I feel that. See, I showed my husband Trick or Treat on Halloween night for the first time last year. He had never seen it, and I feel like
Mhm.
that's going to be our like Halloween tradition now.
Yeah.
um, but yeah, I think that I think everyone should have their go-to, like, what you watch on Halloween night movie.
Yeah.
Sound off. Let us know, what do you watch on Halloween night? Because I feel like it's a very telling. Like, if I was meeting a new person, I feel like I could ask them, "What do you watch on Halloween night?" And that would tell me everything I need to know about you.
Yeah, I would agree with that. That is, it's kind of like your Halloween horoscope.
Yes, that's a great way to put. We're gonna make a meme. It's gonna
Ooh,
happen.
yes.
I'm gonna make a graph of what that says about you.
Love it.
Okay. So we've kind of been talking movies, but if you're not watching a movie on Halloween night, maybe you're going to a little Halloween party action.
Little shindig.
If you're going to a shindig, tell me, what is the best Halloween party activity? For, like, let's start with, if you're a kid. When you were a kid and you went to a party, what was the best activity?
Ooh, I mean, I feel like I the highlight of Halloween was always trick or treat when you were a kid. And so
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember, cuz I know I did go to Halloween parties that were like not on trick or treat day,
Mm-hmm.
and I was always really into like a hayride or something like
Ooh.
that. That was kind of like an Halloween time outing that we would have when I was a kid, and I was
Mm-hmm.
always a big fan of that.
How Midwestern of you.
I know, I know.
And don't get me wrong, I love a hayride, but I do kind of get a giggle out of it that it's just like a bunch of people sitting on straw in the back of a tractor
Yep.
being like, this is so fun.
So fun. Well, you'd wear your costume and then you'd sit in your tractor and just have a good time.
I think for me, it was like, I have this very core memory of going to this Halloween party as a kid that I think was for my Girl Scout troop, actually.
Mhm.
And we carved pumpkins at that party.
Oh, that's
And
rad.
I remember that being the only time I actually really enjoyed carving a pumpkin. Because we were all, like, trying to outdo each other with our designs and, like, come up with something really cool. I think that was a really fun activity for a group of young people, obviously supervised because, sharp objects and children.
Yes. Well, that was actually what I was going to say for my favorite grown-up Halloween party
Oh, okay.
activity is I have been to a couple parties where the host just brought a bunch of pumpkins and had them out for anyone to carve, and that's always super fun, and I feel like people get really enthusiastic, and there's always one person who's like really good at it and whose
Yeah.
pumpkin turns out so much better than everybody else's, and I always really enjoy that as like an activity for while you're Halloweening and wearing your costume and in between, spooky jello shots and things like that.
I think for, like, an adult party, it would be really fun to, like, I've seen some people do this. In fact, I think Andrew and Devin from Your Best Halloween Ever do this. Get, like a craft pumpkin for everybody and have, like, a theme and let everybody, like, decorate a pumpkin and have a contest. I think that would be really
Ooh,
fun. Like, you can paint
yeah.
it or glue stuff to it or whatever. Um, I don't know. I'm too wimpy for pumpkin carving. My hand hurts too bad.
But see, when you're at a party, then you can like friendly bully someone into cleaning it for you, and then you can just do the fun parts.
That's it's the ultimate time to do it, where the cleanup is not your problem.
Yes.
No, I'm trying to think of, like, what I've done at. I feel like a lot of the adult parties I've been to have either just been like hanging out, chatting and dancing and stuff, or it's been
Mhm.
like we all got together and watched a movie. Which is it sounds kind of lame now thinking about it, but oh, you know what? No, I know what my dream activity, best ever, would be for everyone to do the time warp together. That would make me really
Oh,
happy.
that would be super good.
That's gonna get my gold.
I would be very into that party. So let's talk about scary costumes and scary things in
Ooh.
general. What is the scariest costume to see somebody in?
Oh. Anything with for me, anything with like a really scary mask, anything that like completely hides their face is really just unsettling to me, I think. Even like if I go to Spirit or anywhere, like I kind of like dodge around the mask section around some of those really like really spooky ones, because they heave my jeebs.
Right? Some of them are really hardcore. I was going to say the same thing. Like, they're like the full mask, because then you don't know who it is underneath. And it's bad enough when you're like at a party and you're like, okay, someone here knows you. But when you're just like out, like at the bar or on the street, and there's just someone with a full mask on, very concerning. Especially like, I'm very grossed out by like the creepy clown masks with all the teeth and stuff.
Yeah, what is that one? It's from like a creepypasta. It's called like Killer Jeff or something.
Oh, probably.
I don't know exactly but that one in particular, I had never heard of it. I mentioned it in one of my videos last year that it was like super disturbing to me. I was like, what the hell is this supposed to be? And like a bajillion people commented and like, you don't know about Killer Jeff? I was like, no, why are we doing this to ourselves? This is awful.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. And that, I mean, even flashback, like the thing that the costumed person I saw that most terrified me as a child was someone in a Jason mask with like a blood smear on it. And I just remember being out trick-or-treating as a kid and just like being terrified.
I had one of my best friends was horrified of Ghostface when she was a kid, which is funny because Scream is probably one of her favorite movies. She showed me Scream for the first time.
It always comes full circle.
Yeah, like she's like a total horror buff now and everything, but she would not go trick-or-treating for like 2 years because she would just run crying whenever she saw Ghostface. So in line with that, kind of running off my Killer Jeff line here, what is scary to you in the way of like tales, urban legends, creepypasta, if you're into that? Like, what is something that really like scares you to think about?
Ooh, I mean, it's not a Halloween specific one, but I have always been like deeply horrified by the idea of like when it's like, oh, they brought this home and then 1,000 spiders came out of it. And things like that, like the idea that like there's something like lurking like inside a, food or an item or something that I am going to bring home, and that I'm going to be like attacked by crazy spiders. Those are the ones that like give me like the strongest willies, because they feel like the most like realistic.
Sure. Do you remember that the Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark book from when we were kids? And there was that one about the girl who like a spider like laid eggs in her face.
Yes, that is exactly the kind of thing. I still remember that the original illustration. So scary.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. The other one from a book. So
I know what you're gonna say. Hit me. I know.
It was the lady with the ribbon around her neck. Oh, and I remember.
Talk about shit that stays with you. Like when you're a kid, I still think about that, and I'm almost 30 years old.
Right, and I mean, full disclosure, breaking news on this podcast. When I was reading the book in elementary school, the copy of the book that we had, the girl's name was Jenny in it, which is my real life wallet name. And I was so scared. I was like, oh my God, is this book about me?
I don't even know. Like, I've never worn a ribbon, and yet it seems like it could be me.
If I put one on, will my head fall off when I take it off?
I knew you were going to bring that up, and I was literally one of my friends from work 2 years ago. It was actually the most fun Halloween party I've ever been to. We went to this Halloween party at a bookstore.
Ooh.
And it was like a literary themed party.
Oh my God, that sounds so fun.
It was so fun. And you had to come dressed as a literary character, and she came dressed as the woman with the green ribbon around her neck.
Oh man.
But it was super fun. There was like a literary scavenger hunt all based on like clues from lines in Poe's poetry, and we had to find different objects. It was so freaking fun. That's the coolest adult party activity, is literary
Yeah,
games.
I was gonna say literary game sounds like it's topping the charts for
Yeah.
adult party activities.
Oh, so fun. I think urban legend. Okay. Well, because I was going to bring up the girl with the ribbon. I think as a kid, that freaked me out
Yeah.
the most. Like, just anything I read as a child really stuck with me. Those kind of things, like, lingered. But as far as things that freak me out now as an adult, I think, like, skinwalkers, like Wendigo kind of stuff, that really freaks me out. Because to me, I don't know. That's like, you know, things like Mothman and like, I'm like, that's probably not true. But I could see there being some kind of like weird half like animal, half human type thing lurking in the woods. That makes sense to me. I don't know. But that concept really freaks me out.
Yeah, that is very scary stuff.
And apparently Killer Jeff also. I haven't read the creepypasta, and I never, ever, ever, ever will. But apparently that is also a trigger for me.
Oh man, well, those are the urban legends and things like that. Who is your favorite slasher or like horror movie villain?
So I don't remember if you and I have talked about this. My family is Nightmare on Elm Street royalty.
Oh yes.
My uncle he's Jesse from Nightmare on Elm Street too. And so I do have like a soft spot for that franchise and for Freddy. I also love Freddy because he's just kind of an old queen. Like he's very dramatic and like everything. He just has such a flair for the theater of killing. Like I think it has to be Freddy. I think also too, like he's of the big slasher villains, he's the one with the most personality. Because most of them are masked, so there's not a whole lot going on there.
Yeah, I was actually also gonna say Freddy for the same kind of reasons. Just because, like, he's kind of sassy. He's got some personality. He's spooky looking. He's got a nice sweater. Like,
I went as Freddy one year for Halloween, and it was like one of my favorite costumes I ever did. That sweater it's so like practical. Like you look scary, but you're also comfortable all night. It's a real winner, especially if you live in a cold climate. Okay, so moving out of our creepy stuff a little bit, back into costume land.
Oh yes.
Do you have a favorite like tandem costume, like a couple costume or a group costume that you like to see?
I always love seeing people dressed as the Scooby Gang from Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
I've seen that at like a bunch of like costume contests, and I think it's always a pretty choice option. Otherwise, like I always really like pun costumes and things like that. So I always appreciate when I see people kind of getting their wordplay on.
I appreciate that as well. I don't know. I don't know that I can't, nothing stands out to me as I can tell you, this is not the question. I can tell you what I never want to see ever again.
Hey, do it. Hit it up.
And that is a group of people dressed as Mario Kart. I don't want to see it anymore. It was really funny the first like 10 times I saw it. And like now I'm like, y'all, you have those cars strapped over you. How are you going to party?
I know, right? I'm always like kind of mystified, like on one hand impressed, but also mystified by people who wear like really elaborate and difficult costumes, like
or like the inflatable ones.
Yeah, I'm like, how are you going to the bathroom? Like,
no clue
what's going on here. Well, do you have like a couple or group costume that you would love to do someday? Because I will say that I have always wanted to do a Sailor Moon group costume.
Oh, cute!
Get some gals and be some Sailor Senshi. I always thought that would be super cool.
I think maybe like, I mean, honestly, you kind of talked about the Scooby Gang. I feel like that would be something I would be like interested in doing.
Mm-hmm. You'd make
Um,
a great Daphne.
I really grew from I used to be a Velma and now I'm a Daphne. Um, but I don't know. Taylor and I are doing Mavis and Johnny from Hotel Transylvania this year, and I'm
Oh,
very
cute.
excited about that.
Very nice.
I've had to get creative with couples costumes because Taylor doesn't like to dress up. So I have to find something where it's basically him wearing his normal clothes and I dress up and it looks like we're a couple.
There you go. Whatever makes it work. So, we've had some dream costumes. What is the best Halloween costume you've ever had? And we can do like a kid and an adult category if you have multiple.
I think my favorite as a kid, my best was probably Barbara Eden from My Dream of Jeannie. It was super freaking cute. It was just the cutest
Mm.
costume. I also went as Jessie from Toy Story several years.
Oh, that's cute.
My mom made it from like stuff we got at the thrift store, and it was actually super super cute. Um, as an adult, I don't know. It was very simple, but Taylor and I like 3 years ago went as a lumberjack and a tree. And I made myself a pretty like elaborate tree costume on like a $15
Nice.
budget. Like I got a bunch of stuff at the dollar store, and just he carried like an axe and wore what he like normally wears. And it turned out really cute. So I was pretty proud of that one.
There you go. As a kid, my most memorable costume, I will say, was Spiderella, uh, which
Oh,
which was a catalog costume. So I was extremely excited that we were permitted to order costumes from the catalog that year.
yes.
And like the Spiderella dress, this is just such like foreshadowing into who I would become in the future. It was like basically like a floor length like Morticia black dress. It had fully long draped sleeves with
Mm-hmm.
orange spiderweb print on the inside, and it had an orange spiderweb ruff, like a big dramatic like foam collar. And
Amazing.
I was so into that, and I was incredibly excited to wear it and just felt like the coolest kid out there. And I think we painted a spider on my cheek too to kind of sell the look.
Were
Uh,
you guys mostly a homemade costume family?
Yeah, it was a combo. Like we did have like store costumes, but we also did a lot of like kind of what today we would call closet, cosplay, and
Yes.
just kind of pulling things together and getting creative with a little bit of face paint and things like that.
Yeah, I don't really remember ever. I think maybe two times we like bought a costume from the store. It was definitely more homemade, but I mean they were all great. Like I
Yeah.
this is not on our list, so I'm going to throw you for a loop.
All right.
What was the weirdest costume you ever had?
Ooh.
Like even if it was a normal concept, did you have one that came out weird?
um I did I did a Lady Gaga costume in college that came
Amazing.
out kind of weird. I was very pleased with it at the time, but in retrospect, it was a very I because it was of course me being like, what do I have in my dorm room? So it was
Mm-hmm.
like a black bathing suit, a piece of like a night costume I had bought from a Party City at some point. It like wrapped it like a black like shawl around my head, and then I did like the little like black lips from the paparazzi video was kind of where I was taking my inspo from, and I wore like big dark sunglasses like out and about all night.
I think Lady Gaga would have loved that. That sounds right on brand, honestly.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I'm sure I dressed up as like weird and dumb things when I was a kid because kids have bad taste in
Yeah.
costumes. But nothing major is coming to mind. What about you?
When I was 11, I think, 10 or 11, my friend and I decided, I don't know where we got this information, but we decided we wanted to be punk skater grandmas.
Okay.
And so we went to the thrift store and bought moo and then like wore like large men's hoodies. And we got like tennis balls in tights around our necks. So we had like low swinging chariots.
All right.
And had like wigs with curlers, but then put backwards caps on. And we rode skateboards and razor scooters around the neighborhood collecting candy.
This was very high concept.
It was very weird. And I vividly remember my mom. My mom was pretty like, she took quite a bit of pride in putting my costumes together, and she always did a really good job. And so I vividly remember her face when I told her this is what my friend and I wanted to do, and the look of like, what the hell are you talking about?
Oh, poor moms.
Yeah. What are you going to do? Kids can't live with them.
Right. Agreed. All right. So what is your very favorite Halloween tradition?
I mean, mine is kind of specific to my family, I think.
Yeah.
But every year we do a special Halloween dinner, and we have a specific menu that we do every year. It's my mom makes goulash, and we make these breadsticks that look like fingers with like the cheese fingernails. And we always get that like cherry 7-Up and put like peeled grapes in it, and it's like eyeballs and blood. And we always make the goulash with like the bow tie pasta and black beans, so we call it like bats and bugs is the like the title of the dish. Yeah, I don't know, that was just always like a really special night for us to do that dinner. And we had this like really crappy old cassette that had like 7 Halloween songs on it that we would play while we ate, and that just always like felt like Halloween to me when we did that. And then watched Hocus Pocus.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect night. I guess mine isn't really like a Halloween day tradition. But I would just say that like my favorite like Halloween season tradition is doing, 31 days of Halloween or however many days of Halloween I end up feeling like doing.
Sure.
But just kind of, I really like being able to kind of make the joy of Halloween last extra long and get to enjoy it for a while and play dress up. I've always been I was definitely the kid who was playing dress up, putting on fashion shows and like little plays and things for everyone. So I love putting on a costume or a cute outfit and taking pictures and sharing things, going out. So I think that's my favorite tradition that I have as an adult for Halloween.
I just love Halloween so much. I'm sad that it's almost here.
I know. That's how I feel. It seems like, you wait so long for October to get here and then it goes so fast.
It's gone in a flash, but I guess we can't have it all the time or it wouldn't be special.
It's true. And we can always keep a little bit of Halloween alive year round.
Yeah, you can do that by listening to Ghouls Night in Pod.
What? Oh my goodness, what a perfect tie-in.
Well, definitely be sure to let us know, either, on our Instagram page or wherever. Let us know what some of your Halloween traditions are. Weigh in on all these superlatives. Roast us for our answers or agree with us. Tell us your thoughts, opinions. We'd love to hear them. You can follow us over on Instagram at Ghouls Night in Pod. And of course, don't forget to leave us a review at wherever you listen to us. We'd love to have you stick around.
Yes, for sure. We would love to see what you're up to. So tag us in your Halloween activities and traditions as you are making them happen this year. And if you want to find me on the socials, I am at Penny Snark.
And you can find me at Midge Munster.
Until next time,
Happy Halloween!